Hi, Matt Sloan. People often ask me from when I did Tully's Garden, the first graphic novel I did, uh, because you're doing both the writing and the illustration, which do you do first? And for me, I do the drawings first, and I'll tell you a little bit why. Um, I know with some art projects where you have collaborators, there's an artist, a visual artist, and a writer. Often the more common practice is do the writing first and then bring out the visuals to accentuate the writing and the story that's already been created. For me, it's the reverse, and I'll tell you it's because for me, when I'm looking at these books, these are really an exploration of what's true for me. And what's true for me is partially known, partially conscious, and partially trapped in my unconscious. So I don't always know what I'm going to discover along the process of creating a book like this. Um, like, here's an example when I did this drawing for Tully's Garden. Uh, this was an image that came to me almost, dreamlike sense that I just saw it in my mind and I got it down on paper. The meaning of this wasn't clear to me until after I'd done the drawing and I could fit it in the part of the story where then the writing came out. Um, what did I write here? I said, I find my stories here, this land, my silent creative expression, safe to show only the trusted of the most trusted. I believe I have to be small, quiet, not a peep. So I made more meaning out of this once I had gotten this image delivered from my unconscious, so to speak. I like that part of my process. I can get tripped up by my conscious that wants to control everything. So if I did the writing first and then tried to do the images, I think they would be wildly different. It would almost be like forcing the image instead of inviting the right image. And that's not to say I haven't done some thought, putting some thought into my writing so far. I've written a ton of notes about my next book, but I just haven't fully scripted it out yet. So, for example, and it's a very messy process. Like, I have this legal pad with just like stuff written on it, um, and it's like this is probably about 15 pages or so of stuff like this. Totally messy, but again, this is not necessarily what's going to go into the book. Just a lot of the thoughts, and then even I did this like this whole like chart of stuff about monsters and ego and stuff that relates to the topic of the book. But again, that's just early stage, like almost brainstorming and um, getting all the data in so that my unconscious can play with it, and then I'll get these images that I assume relate to what I've already digested or even thought through in some of my writing. Writing being more just here are general thoughts, not here's the storyline or here's what's actually going in the book. Um, yeah, so that's at least my process today. Who knows, that may change one day, but for the time being, because this is so much about like me wanting to understand what's in my unconscious, I start with the drawings first. I hope this is useful for you. See you next time. Ciao.